Hello, this message is for those of you who either bought or are planning to buy DCR-SR42. It's a Sony HDD camcorder, one of the camcorders with a hard drive in it. So these camcorders are pretty slick in some ways, but I think anyone who buys one of these is going to run into some certain problems. I've seen a lot of videos about people who ran into these problems, so I'm going to go over those and try to help you out with them, but first you're going to have to listen about what I went through to try to figure it out, because you'll run through the same things. First of all, you get the camera, you take it out of the box, and it's pretty slick, really easy to use, and everything on it's kind of user-friendly, it's pretty intuitive, but so everything's going great. You're doing some recording and whatnot, and it works pretty slick. But before you get too far along, you decide, well, tell you what, I want to take these videos that I have, these little clips, and I want to edit them in some way. I want to cut out certain parts, and I want to put them together. I want to add some music to it, and I want to do a number of different things and take more volume in one area, take out volume in another area. And so essentially editing. You want to edit your videos. What you're going to quickly find out is that that the program that the camera came with only lets you do like the most rudimentary editing, so it lets you do cutting, but that's it, or trimming as it says in the program. After that, you're basically on your own. The format that the DCR-SR42, most Sony cameras work on, is an MPEG-2 format. So basically what most people want to do right from there, they say, okay, well, the program it came with doesn't work very well. I'm going to go ahead and use Windows Movie Maker, which comes with every single Microsoft package out there. Well, Microsoft's Windows Movie Maker does not accept MPEG-2 formats. I've checked around quite a bit, and I'm pretty certain about this, and a lot of people who I've found online said this doesn't work. So MPEG-2 format's not accepted by Windows Movie Maker. The next step that a lot of people go down is they say, okay, well, I'll find a converter. I'll convert it from MPEG-2 formats over to maybe MPEG-4s or AVIs or WVMs, hoping that that's going to take care of it. And online it says there's a bunch of free programs that'll do that, and there are, and they do a really bad job at doing that, and half of them either leave watermarks on your videos that you have, so something right in the middle of your screen, or they only last 7 days as a free trial. Also, if you want to do any kind of videos where there's a bunch of clips in there, where you want to put 10, 15, 50 clips in there and edit them together to music or whatnot, well, that means that you're going to have to convert each file individually, and that's going to take a lot of time, be a lot of headache, and use up some extra space on your computer. So that method, not so hot. The next option is there's a lot of freeware or open source ware on the internet you can download that they say works pretty good for doing editing. You know, and there's Jashaka, and you can get samples of like ULEAD and I think samples of Sony Vega and different other samples out there, which is basically just a cut down version. Well, what I've found is the cut down versions are usually either way too cut down to do anything with, or they have the watermarks in them, you know, so you know that basically it's a watermark noting that it's not activated, or it's, you know, just a illegitimate copy, or it's or the other programs they have that don't have the watermark and don't have the, you know, 7-day trial period where once you get it it's just free to use, are disgusting. They're like out of the 80s, really. I'm not a big computer whiz or anything, but I look at this stuff and I think, well, hey, most kids in high school can throw together a program better than this. But so that brings us to the next step. So you can't really convert the files over to something that's acceptable by Windows Movie Maker. You can't really, at least that I've found, you can't really download a free program for editing that works very good. So that kind of leaves you stuck biting the bullet, and where you have to buy software that does editing. And there's really good programs for that, but they're not free, and they don't come with the camera, and they certainly don't tell you that when you buy the camera. But probably the best ones out there, the most well-known ones anyway, are there's Adobe Premiere Elements. That's going to cost $100, so just mentally prepare for that. Otherwise, you can go with Pinnacle, which is about $50. Otherwise, you can go with ULEAD, which I haven't used that one, but it works okay as far as I've heard. But you have to take one of those steps, and you are going to have to sink a little extra money into it. Also, even after you go from that point, you still have to make sure that the discs you buy end up being compatible with your burner, so you can actually burn things onto discs. So basically, that's kind of a little bit of the headache I had with it, and hopefully this will save you a little bit of time. And if you don't want to drop the money on buying the extra software, check into some other cameras that have a format that's going to work with Windows Movie Maker right off the bat, and that'll save you a huge amount of time and headache. The reason why I didn't just return the DCR-SR42, the Sony camera here, is that it is really slick and easy to use, and I figured I already bought it, I gotta learn how to use this stuff anyway. But so it does work pretty good, but there are a lot of things that you have to make sure that you have set up right, and it does take a lot of time if you're not prepared for it. The thing that the camera was really, really good at and didn't require any extra setup or work, and basically where if you just follow the directions it'll work, which is very uncommon with my experience dealing with this camera and the software, is dealing with uploading videos to YouTube. Basically all you have to do is videotape it, and say if you don't want to do any cutting or anything, you can just videotape it, set up your YouTube account, or go into your YouTube account, and then let me turn this off here. All you have to do is go into your YouTube account, plug in your camera, and you can just use it as a jack drive or jump drive, and go right in, grab whatever videos you want, hit upload, and it does them really slick and really easy and really nice. So and then the MPEG-2 format does work pretty slick on YouTube, or it seems to anyway, with my experience. So that's that. I hope it works for you. Feel free to leave any messages if there's anything that I left out, or you have any ideas, or anything I should know about, or anything that you want to know about. I'm no guru, so I can't necessarily help anyone a huge amount, but these basics hopefully will help you a little bit. With that, I'm going to cut us out here. Good luck.